the high seas, Pisces. Cast my line, now they're biting. Yeah, rocky coasts and lighthouses. What she knows now, I doubt it. Talk to me nice. I think your confusion starts with street lights.
Hello Cancer, and welcome to your September 2018 reading with me, Pisces Priestess. So I'm doing things a little bit different this month. I got my Indigo Angel deck out, already shuffled, and got you a card that is a message for you for September. It best describes, it best guides you through the month of September. So we have the card of Learn Something New, Cancer. To me, this is very much like the Temperance card in regular tarot. We'll see if that comes out for you guys, but there's something here about learning something new in September. Testing the waters, trying new things. I love that this person has one foot in the water here and one foot on the land. So it's very much like the Star card. It's very much like the Temperance card. To me, this is very much the Temperance card. So I will be channeling a bit from that card, but I'm also just going to read from the book. So let's find Learn Something New, since I opened up to the wrong page. Page 27. Alright, so let's take a look here and read together about what this card means. So there is new information waiting for you, Cancer. This card asks you to initiate or finish studies on a topic or topics that interest you. When this card comes up, it's often a calling to start or complete something new that you already know you should be doing. Let this be your confirmation that the time for this endeavor is now. This card can also guide you to meditate and have a conversation with the universe. Any questions can be asked and will be answered if you'll listen with an open mind and heart. Trust the feedback that you receive. Write it down and consider teaching this information to others. As an Indigo child, you can easily recognize true divine guidance as it comes to you. Even if you feel that what you're learning won't serve you in the future, please trust that the angels are guiding you for a specific reason that you may not necessarily need to know at this point in your life. Have fun and try something new. So Cancer, a few things there that really jumped out at me with this card is, well, let's read back here. There is new information waiting for you, Cancer. And when this card comes up for people, it's about initiating and finishing studies or topics that interest you. So this is a very Saturnian energy. Saturn has gone direct in Capricorn, which is your opposite sign. So Saturn is direct in your 7th house. So you may need to try something new when it comes to relationships. This could bring up commitments in your relationships. But Saturn is all about finishing up studies and stuff like that. Finishing up tasks and stuff that you've been wanting to do. So this is often calling you to complete something that you already know you should be doing. That's so Saturn. Complete something that you should already be doing. So let this be a confirmation that the time to do this is now. Saturn is saying that. Saturn has been saying that this is now. It's time to finish things up. It's time to start learning things new, stuff like that. So this card can also guide you to meditate and have a conversation with the universe. So meditation is coming up this month in September for you, Cancer, and having conversations with the divine, with God, with the universe, with angels, whatever you believe. Any questions you have will be answered if you listen with an open heart. Trust the feedback that you get, Cancer. Write it down if you have to, and definitely consider teaching the information you learn to others. So this is what really stuck out to me, though. It says, as an Indigo, you can easily recognize true divine guidance as it comes to you. Cancer, you are very divine. You are the cardinal water sign, and it's true. I believe the reason why this card came up for you is because you need to recognize the fact that you know true guidance when it comes to you. Like, you are able to tell if something is corrupt or if it's divine because you're ruled by the moon. So you know certain secrets. You're very intuitive. You're very, you know how to nurture certain situations. You know the inner soul of people, places, and things. You know the inner soul of all situations. So you definitely can easily recognize when true guidance is divine. So if you feel that your learning won't serve you in the future, this is another Saturn thing about thinking about the future. Please trust that the angels are guiding you to specific things this month for a reason. You might not necessarily need to know it at this point in your life, but still have fun and try something new. So anything that you're doing new or unfamiliar, you're like kind of stepping out of your comfort zone. For you, Cancer, this is like coming out of the water and stepping on land, even though this card is, I believe, interpreted the opposite way. But for you, I'm picking up on something intuitive, which is you are coming out of the water and trying something new on land. Usually people are testing the waters, but for you, Cancer, it's not the waters you need to test. It's getting out of your feelings, getting out of your emotion, getting out of your intuitive powers, and trying something logical, trying something physical, trying something that you have to ground yourself in and commit to. This could be relationships, earth sign energy. This is Virgo energy. So definitely learning certain things this month. You're going to be guided to go certain places, to learn certain things, to share certain knowledge, to have certain conversations with the universe. And you and only you are going to be able to determine whether these things were divinely guided or if they're kind of subconscious distractions, okay? So we're going to put this card here as an overlooking energy for your entire reading. Now, the bottom of the deck for the messages that the angels have for you is, sure enough, dreams. So this is a dreamy energy. This is the opposite of Virgo. This is Pisces energy, dreams. Something about your dreams this month, Cancer. Maybe you're learning something new about your dreams. Dreams are subconscious. Dreams are very water sign energy. So there might be something you're learning about the dream realm, or you're learning about your own subconscious. There might be something that you dream about that this could be a message from the universe. So if you have any significant dreams this month about something new in your life, whether it be a person, a place, or a thing, if you dream that you're at a certain house or a certain city, just let your dreams guide you. You're going to get certain intuitive messages in your dreams that you need to kind of psychically interpret for the physical realm. The physical world and the spiritual realm are kind of mixing this month for you, Cancer, and it's your dreams that are going to guide you. Certain thoughts that come to you while you're half asleep, half awake type of thing. So allow your dreams to, and then we have authority, taking authority with your dreams. This is Saturn. Saturn is definitely, and then we have health, which would be Virgo energy. So there's something here about Saturn, you know, commitments that you need to do. There might be something like, this could be school related for some of you. There might be something that you really, you've been putting it off all summer, all spring. And now that Saturn is direct in September and in the fall, you finally decide, okay, I'm going to dip my foot in this pool that I was too scared to dip my foot in. Or I'm just going to go against my intuition briefly so that I can try something new, because ultimately I know the information is going to reveal something to me that was essential to my path. So yeah, it has something to do with your dreams. It has something to do with your emotion and your intuition, Cancer. You're going to be guided by the unseen to the scene this month, if that makes sense. So learn something new. This could definitely be school for some of you. This could definitely be learning new things about in your relationships, learning new things about the world, the universe, just learning something. You're learning something new, brand new. This is not a repeated lesson. This is something brand new that you haven't done, and it's going to most likely be something that you've been intuitively drawn to. Like if you've been feeling drawn to something that you're even more drawn to in September, whether it's a person, a relationship, a job, a house, it could be anything. We can learn from anything if we're really, you know, open. So just allow that to unfold for you, Cancer, and allow your dreams to connect you even further to that information. So let's get some regular tarot going for you guys and see what's going on for you in the month of September. So this is for Cancer, the cardinal water sign, the fourth house of our universe. What information do we have for them? What messages and guidance do we have for them for September 2018? What's going on for Cancer? What do we need to talk about? September 2018, Cancer. Whoa, that is way too many cards, but we did have the Hermit in the Eight of Swords. Some of you guys could be feeling trapped in isolation. Some of you guys are feeling trapped in Virgo season, not grounding yourself in your emotion. There's a Scorpio and a Virgo. The card that does want to come out for you, though, is the Eight of Cups. So you could definitely be walking away from certain energy. Maybe you walked into September by walking away from something. Maybe it's moon influenced, right? Maybe it's a soul journey. Maybe this is happening on the Virgo new moon or the Aries full moon. Maybe you're walking away from something that took too long to get to you. Maybe you're walking away from something earth-wise, something that was painful. You could be walking away from a painful situation with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. because we do have the Ten of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. Now, if you're not going through a painful situation with an earth sign or a painful ending in the finances or something like that, something's just moving too slow. The Knight of Pentacles is a message that you waited for too long, and it stabbed you in the back, you know, like this person, place, or thing. This is a financial betrayal, but it doesn't matter, Cancer, because this was a slow, painful death that you're now walking away from. And we have the Ace of Wands here, and maybe you're dealing with another water sign, or if you're dealing with a Sagittarius or a Gemini, that's coming up. But either way, we have the Ace of Wands here underneath these two energies. So a slow and painful death led to passion and a new fiery start with someone. Okay, but we have the Eight of Cups here for you at the beginning of September. Let's get a little bit more. Oh, we have the King of Wands pop. I don't know why these cards are flipped over, but we have the King of Wands here. So there could be a significant fire sign child. If you guys have any Aries, Sagittarius, Leo children, this is definitely coming up as a child. There could have been someone who walked away from this situation as well. Maybe someone walked away from someone with children, or walked away from a soulmate or someone from the past. But we have this King of Wands here: Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. So there's a fire sign energy here. This is a soulmate. And I see a lot of different messages here. There could be victory with this soulmate. Maybe you guys walked away from something emotionally draining and walked right towards a fiery soulmate energy, because this is victory. Maybe you're being victorious from something from your childhood. This is a very nostalgic victory. So whatever you're victorious about, maybe you guys are going to like parades. This is a parade going on with a lot of children involved. So I don't know if that resonates, but I'm just seeing some sort of parade back in a hometown. A lot of people, maybe a festival or something like that, and maybe you're in the festival or the parade. But whatever this is a parade going on for you, Cancer, metaphorically, and you're victorious. This is a victorious parade. Maybe you're gaining victory over some sort of childhood trauma, because it's a nostalgic victory. So you're being victorious over something that you couldn't be victorious when you were a kid. So some of your sorrows from your childhood are being victoriously succeeded now that you're older. Maybe there's something victorious that you're doing with your children. Maybe you successfully got a divorce. You successfully walked away from an abusive relationship. So now you have your children. Now something can grow with your children. And there is a significant fire sign involved. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. You're going to have to interpret this victory with this fire sign in your own way. Some of you guys are victorious without the fire sign. Some of you guys, you may have Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy in your own birth chart, but this has something to do with someone who walked away, and it has something to do with a burden. I don't know if you guys are in relationships where there's something burdened, or maybe there's a decision that you need to make, because we do have the Two of Wands as well. So there's like some sort of secret decision that you have to make that's burdening you, and it could have to do with a relationship or the direction you're going in life. But there's definitely a soulmate here too. I'm not sure why these cards were out there, so that could have been a little message for somebody. But I want to continue to shuffle and see what comes out next, so we can get this September reading out and clear and logical. And we need the details this month. So let's keep shuffling for Cancer. Okay, Four of Pentacles. Even though you're walking away, you're still holding on to something. We'll interpret that here in a minute, but you know, that's interesting. We have Aries here. Some of you guys are holding on to a boss, or maybe you are a boss, or maybe you're hanging on to like the father of your children. You're hanging on to some sort of situation that could be, it's like you're left out in the cold. Some authority figure has left you out in the cold. You know, there is some sort of situation falling apart that causes anxiety this month with the Page of Swords. Some sort of quick financial message. Someone could be receiving messages that someone in the situation, whether it's you or someone else, they could get information about, hey, you know, you're fired. Your boss might fire you, and then things kind of tumble down, cause anxiety, you know, cause emotional confusion. I'm not sure, Cancer, but we did have the Aries here, that this you're hanging on to the authority that you have, even though you're walking away from certain things. So I don't really want to. Significant Leo. We have the Strength card, having the strength to continue working on certain things, to stand up for yourself. Okay, I don't really want to. I'm trying to do these readings different this month, Cancer. I'm trying to really just stay focused and get the messages on the table so that I don't ramble too much, and so that these videos this month are very much filled with information. Okay, so we have two cards coming out together, and we're going to keep these cards together. We have the Hermit and we have the Two of Swords. So some of you guys are significantly conflicted and confused about a Virgo. Or maybe this is Virgo season, because this is the Hermit. This is Virgo energy, the Virgo card. So some of you guys have a decision to make specifically about a Virgo in your life. This is something that you're not seeing about a Virgo, or in Virgo season. Virgo season can just be very conflicted for you. Maybe you're like, do I walk away? Do I hang on? Do I walk away? Do I hold on? Because there's definitely that confliction going on here too. If you're not dealing with a Virgo, then this is Virgo season for you. The fact that there's lots of crossroads between letting go and holding on, and the strength you need to do both. It takes strength to hold on. It takes strength to walk away. So you need to harness your own strength this month in Virgo season. And we're headed into Libra season. So some of you are directly involved with a Virgo. If you're not involved with a Virgo, this is you feeling isolated, all alone and confused, all on your own. Like, I just wish I had some help. And it might have to do with a job. Some of you guys are just feeling like you're isolating yourself because there's something that you don't know what to choose. There's a choice here. There's a crossroads, and it's a mental crossroads, and I think you're just doing some soul searching. We have some soul searching coming up here. So I'm going to keep this Two of Swords and this Hermit together because I believe that message came out for a reason. And I'm just going to get a couple more cards to symbolize the end of the month. So let's get two more cards for Cancer for September 2018. Not that many, Spirit. I mean, the Nine of Cups just showed itself, so there is a need here to be surrounded by the emotional gratification and getting your wishes fulfilled emotionally. Now we have the Ten of Cups and the Justice card and the Page of Cups, so there is going to be some sort of balance emotionally going on, Cancer. I don't want to take those cards though. There could be a Libra. There could be a Libra in the home life, and I was looking happy. Okay, there could be a Libra for some of you. And that's Libra season, so I probably should have took those cards, but those were 3 cards. I just want 2 cards because we already have these 2 here. So definitely some completions and new beginnings. And we had the Four of Cups almost come out, so just be careful not to over emotionally. That Aries came back out. Yeah, there could be an Aries coming in very quickly at the end of the month to change some things up. But just be careful not to over emotionally focus on certain things this month, Cancer. Okay, last card is the Ten of Swords. So this is an interesting message. Bottom of the deck is the Knight of Swords. Could be a Gemini. Could be some quick information coming in throughout September. This is an energy throughout all of September. We do have that Eight of Swords underneath there. So there could be someone very intellectual. Maybe there's a truth on the way to you very, very fast to kind of release you from this mental prison. You are kind of mentally conflicted this month, Cancer. I'm seeing some mental confliction. We'll talk about that towards the end of the reading, but I do want to get interpreting some of this for you, and I need to slow my energy down because I just did the Gemini reading. So some of that energy, it was a kind of an interesting reading. So some of that energy is kind of, gosh, I don't know what is going on upstairs, but the apartment I'm living in, and there's some distractions going on. But yeah, I know you guys can probably feel my energy moving kind of fast. It's kind of probably what I'm feeling because there is a fast moving energy that's kind of in your reading, Cancer, that I just had to kind of wake up and see. So maybe that's what you need to do, is you need to wake up and see what's moving too fast for you in September, what's not moving fast enough. But I don't know if you feel the energy shift, but I just had to slow down a lot. I didn't even really realize that. So there is a need here. Some of you want to move faster than what you're moving. So I don't know what that energy was that I just picked up on, but maybe it'll make sense throughout the reading. For now, we're just going to start in the beginning and see what's going on for you in September. So we have the Eight of Cups. You guys could have very well started September by walking away from people, places, and things. Okay, the Eight of Cups talks about someone who's setting off on a soul journey, and they're leaving behind anything that's hindering that. You know, we have these cups. This is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy for sure. These cups are water sign energy. You know, Cancer, as water signs, sometimes we are getting very emotionally drained. We have not only the emotions of ourselves, but we have the emotions of others. We have the emotions of the universe. All these emotions going on here. And so you wanna ask yourself, especially in the beginning of September, what is emotionally draining you? Okay, you're ruled by the moon. This makes you very emotionally ruled. The moon controls the tide, so there's something here about you controlling the tide of your own emotion this month, Cancer. It could definitely be significant for September 9th, which is the new moon. We have that here. Or September 24th, which is the Aries new moon, or the Aries full moon, sorry. So the moon cycles are very much contributing to the to and fro energy of your journey. Pay attention. If I was a Cancer, I'm a Pisces, and I definitely still love the moon. Like, every water sign should very much keep an eye on where the moon is, because as the moon shifts, so do we. We are the water that the moon controls. So it's our soul, it's our inner feelings, it's our maternal energy, our innermost, what we hide behind, anything like that. So I see this moon up in the sky. So there might be a journey that you started because of the Pisces full moon. The Pisces full moon happened. We kind of went into September under the influence of that Pisces full moon. So there could have definitely been, I know the Cancers felt that Pisces full moon. That is some heavy water influence. So there could have been something there. Maybe that's why you're starting off September either emotionally walking away. You could still be physically, because it seems that you're physically holding on to something, but emotionally walking away. And my only concern about that, Cancer, is that when a water sign emotionally walks away from something, what does the physical even really mean? Because we are the spirit of emotion using these physical bodies as water signs, right? We have to emotionally connect, especially a Cancer. Like, a Cancer cannot move forward without their emotion, because you are the cardinal water sign, which literally means moving forward with emotion. Emotionally moving forward. That's what you represent, Cancer, and that's what you're kind of doing. This is kind of what's going on, emotionally moving forward, because we have you moving forward without certain emotion, though. So there could be certain cups or people, places, things, certain emotion from the past that you're walking away from. You were very emotionally invested in something. That September is, now this doesn't have to be the 1st of September. This can be at any time in September when it's the moon is kind of guiding you to walk towards a soul journey. You're walking, this is someone walking away from something material that they're emotionally invested in, but they're walking towards the mountain. Like, the moonlight is guiding me now. The moon will show me the way. My soul, basically, is what this is. Cancer is saying, my soul, I'm being guided by my soul. And my soul is leading me elsewhere than this person, this job, this place, this living situation, okay? So there's a journey here in September. This is walking away. So we've got that there. We've got you walking away from certain things that are emotionally draining, and you're really looking towards the moonlight. And if you're not, when it comes to these emotional things, you want to look to the moonlight. Especially if you're starting a new journey at all. Especially, yeah, you're learning something new, right? We have your foot in the water here. So it's interesting that we have this water and earth. It's like, remember at the beginning of the video, I said that to me, in your reading, this looks like you're leaving the water to start walking on land. Well, that's being reiterated here with the Eight of Cups, because this is someone who's leaving the water to walk on land. He's leaving these cups and the water back there to walk up the mountain, which is land. All right, and then when we have it, we walk into this physical energy. We have cups and earth here, and we have the Four of Pentacles. So a couple things with this Four of Pentacles. To me, intuitively, there's a big message here about somebody who walked away. And you know how water signs are. Even if we walk away physically, sometimes we still stay emotionally attached to certain things. So there is a message here about either walking away physically, staying attached emotionally, walking away emotionally, staying attached physically. Like, you're not walking away entirely from a situation because, you know, I'm sorry, I had to check and see if that was an important message, but it's okay. So yeah, this is the Four of Pentacles is an attached energy. So this is interesting to come up after the Eight of Cups. There's definitely something here about hanging on and letting go. There could be a Leo involved for sure, because we have the Leo here, or an Aries or a Virgo. Leo, Aries, and Virgo, very significant zodiac signs for you this month, Cancer. You might want to see where your own Aries, Virgo, and Leo energy is. But we have the two fire signs. There's not a Sagittarius here, but we do have the fixed fire sign and the cardinal fire sign. So I don't know if you're just hanging on to the little bit of strength you have left after a situation where you were very emotionally drained. You might be hanging on to the strength. You could very well be hanging on to your financial strength or the physical strength that you have left. When a water sign is drained emotionally, we do have to rely on the physical energy that we have to keep us going, because the emotional energy will regenerate, right? We are always going to be water. We always have tears to cry. We always have emotional intuition. So we can regenerate our water. But it's our physical body that sometimes pays the toll. So we're hanging on to the physical energy we have. That's one message here. Hanging on to the strength we have left after a very draining situation. This is coming up in September for you, Cancer. Another thing is that this talks about hanging on to something real, something that's physical, right? We have these pinnacles. Pinnacles represent Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn represent the physical, earthly realm, which is money, currency, jobs. But honestly, this is hanging on to anything that you find of value. So water signs value their emotion. So you could be hanging on to the little bit of emotion you have left in a situation too, which could be bad or good. I don't know if this is negative or positive. It's going to have to be determined by your individual free will. But we are hanging on to something still, Cancer. Even though we let something go, there's that little bit that we're hanging on to. There's a few of you who need to hear a financial message with this. You could be hanging on to the pinnacles that you have, even though there's more pinnacles to be delivered in the future. So you could be hanging on to a draining job, not walking away from it. You could be hanging on to a Leo, you know, even though there's someone way better in your future. You could be hanging on to, you know, this is someone who has $20 and they keep it for a month because they're afraid to lose. This is something you're afraid to lose. So I want you to be very careful the first half of September of what you're hanging on to with ill intent, because it's one thing to hang on to something because we love it and because, you know, it's what we're meant to be doing. You know, there are times in life where we are asked to hang on for dear life. But there are also other times where we're hanging on in a stubborn way, where, you know, we're hanging on to things that are draining us or things that need to walk away from. Sometimes we hang on to chapters of the book that are ended, right? How would it be if, you know, think of your favorite TV show right now. Okay, one of my favorite TV shows to watch right now, I've been watching Jersey Shore. So we'll use that as an energy. So what if Jersey Shore just hung on to the first season, right? Well, there'd be no money to make for the next season. What if someone just hung on? You see what I'm trying to say? Like, you can't hang on to the beginning of something if you're looking forward to growth and completion. So just keep in mind, I don't know what these 4 pentacles are, but it does speak of finances. You know, be careful that you're not, because the problem here, Cancer, let me show you. Okay, there's 2 pentacles under the feet there. He's got both of his hands wrapped up in a pentacle, and his head, he doesn't have any arms or legs left, so he's balancing a pentacle on his head. So some of you guys could just be really, really giving all your energy to something that you're hanging on to. And the problem with that is that the universe is trying to give you other things, but, you know, there is no room for these new things. There's not room for $1,000 when a person's hanging on to, you know, $20. So this is about, you know, letting go a little bit, loosening your grip a little bit, especially hanging on to things emotionally. Because if there's anything I know about water signs, it's that our emotional space is very sacred. And even if we're separate from a person, if we're still focused on the emotional space of our ex or a person from our past, then a new person is not going to be able to come in, because we're water signs and our emotions are being occupied. We're emotionally connecting to something that's draining us. So we don't have the emotional energy to even lend to another person, to even go out on new dates. Like, people can tell when water signs are emotionally unavailable. And, you know, I know not many people are emotionally intelligent like Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, but I'm telling you, the other signs of the zodiac can feel when Pisces and Cancer and Scorpio are being emotionally unavailable. Like, we become unattractive. Like, we're water signs for a reason. So make sure you're freeing up emotional space this month, freeing up even financial. This is about what's real and what's spiritual. Like what we feel inside and what's in our real environment. You know, this is Virgo and Pisces energy. So yeah, Virgo season is definitely about, you know, grounding spirituality. That's why we have you here with 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot in the water. So just try to balance it. It's all it is, Cancer, is that you're just climbing certain mountains right now, and you need to focus on, you know, your own emotional space. And trust me, whatever this could be somebody hanging on to you too. I don't want to completely throw Cancer under the bus, because this could definitely, you know, if there's one thing, another thing I know about water signs, it's that sometimes people emotionally attach to us. You know what I mean? And we feel that, which we attach back in return because we're just nurturing and lovely like that. But this is something like a spiritual attachment that you could be releasing. You could be walking away from certain things that you're attached to. This is like something that's attached to your soul. For some of you, it could definitely be a financial situation, but I'm not feeling that for a lot of you. You're going to know what it means for you. It's just something that you need to walk away from, that you're attached to in September. We all know it. You know, there's just something that's emotionally draining you, that you, Cancer, you've got your best foot forward. Like, you've already got one foot out of the pool. So whoever, if you're watching for a Cancer, and you've been feeling like your Cancer is kind of like not emotionally around, be careful, because a water sign will leave emotionally first, and then they'll leave physically, which the mental will come after that too. So just be very careful if that's the case. But other than that, Cancer, back to you. You've got your best foot forward, and I think you're just grounding yourself. We've got your foot on the ground here. I'm looking at the feet here of this man. He's got his feet on the ground and out of the water. And then even these pentacles. So this could definitely be about you just grounding yourself. The Four of Pentacles is not always a bad energy. Sometimes it speaks to, you know, really, really gaining money. But just be careful not to limit yourself to those Four Pentacles if there's more to be made. But the main message here, beginning of September, first couple weeks of September, is be careful what you're hanging on to, or be careful of attachments. This is a death grip. To hang on tightly to something takes a lot of energy. Especially if you're hanging on to something that's not hanging back onto us, right? So I'm feeling a real rip energy, like let me go type of energy. So I don't know what that is for you guys. It could be an earth sign, it could be a water sign, it could be financial, it could be, you guys are going to know what it is intuitively, right, Cancer? What are you holding on to that you've been needing to walk away from? It might have to do with this learning something new. Some of us are hanging on to old partners just because we don't want to risk our emotional security, right, Cancer? We don't want to risk our ability to move forward emotionally with someone new and get hurt. So we're just staying with this plain Jane person that we kind of, they're predictable. And then we have this Strength card. So the Strength card is a significant Leo. Maybe you want to look back to August when we were going through Leo season, because we do have Leo and Virgo here, which is the cusp of exposure. So this is something that could potentially be that got exposed to you, and you might have brought the baggage with you into September, and that might be why you're conflicted. You could definitely be conflicted between a Virgo and a Leo for some of you. Some of you are very confused about a Leo and a Virgo, or you're confused about where to channel your strength at. You know, do I channel my strength in holding on, or do I channel my strength in letting go? So there's a very, maybe there's a back and forth energy, like I leave and then I come back. I leave but I hold on and I come back. Or this person leaves and they hang on to me and they come back. Very, very interesting energy there. And we have the Strength. So this is talking about courage. This is talking about bravery. And it's Leo energy, right? This is the Strength. So one thing that I learned about the Strength card recently, from Aquarian Insight. This is another YouTuber on YouTube. Aquarian Insight mentioned that the Strength card, a lot of times we get drawn to the lion, right? We get drawn to the lion in the Strength card. And yeah, lions are, but lions can be cowardly, but they are the kings of the jungle, and there's a lot of pride there. But there's always a woman in the Strength card, and it's not the strength of a lion we're focused on, it's the strength of the woman. Okay, so that's what Aquarian Insight says. She's an Aquarius, and I really liked learning that about the Strength card. So this is not about, things outside of you this month, Cancer. This is about you focusing on the inner strength of this woman who's brave enough to stroke this lion right now. She's not afraid of beasts, and she's not afraid of things around her. She's strong enough. She's strong enough in her own self to tame a situation, right? So this is about taming something inside you, Cancer, or something inside another person, place, or thing. Maybe it's this inner beast of walking away and holding on. There could be a Leo involved, okay? But it's about having the courage. And I think for some of you, this is about having the strength to let something go. It's going to take a lot of strength to let something go, especially emotionally, Cancer. You know, us water signs, emotion, it comes and it comes to us. So we don't really, we take our emotion for granted, Cancer, because we've always known our emotion. We know that we could cry for days and still cry. You know, like other people, they have to like bargain with their emotions. But with water signs, some water is always promised to us, right? Like water is a realm that we'll always have access to. So I'm going back to this 1 foot in the water, 1 foot out. So with that being said, Cancer, we give our emotion out freely to people. We heal people for free. We cry freely. We help people emotionally all the time without expecting anything in return, because that's just our area, right? That's just our superpower. But Cancer, we do need to focus on the strength here that it's going to take, because my main thing of saying all that is that water signs are so used to giving out emotion for free that when it's time to take the emotion back, we're like, but I've never done this before. I've never had to abandon somebody emotion like this. Or it could be on the flip side. I've never been emotionally abandoned like that. We have to be careful, right, Cancer? Because this could be someone walking away from you emotionally as well, and you hanging on to them. So I don't know how this situation's playing out, but there's an energy here about something that's what someone walked away and someone's holding on, whether that's you or another person. And there's going to need to be strength to get through this situation in September. Okay, at some point in September, you're going to have to be courageous and brave and just kind of allow this situation to be tamed. Tap into your inner emotional strength and hang on to that. If you're hanging on to anything, Cancer, let it be your own strength, okay? And I don't know if there's a Leo and a Virgo or an Aries involved somehow in this, but if you're hanging on to something, let it be your own strength. You know, it's very important that you're realizing your strengths and your weaknesses this month, Cancer, because there's certain energies that are playing off of your strengths and your weaknesses. There's certain things in the universe that know water signs have a weakness for people who walk away, or, you know, people, there's certain people know after being with us for a while that we won't walk away. All right, so just be careful, you know. If you're walking away, make sure you're walking towards your strength. The strength to hold on, you know, the strength to carry on and move forward. And wherever this Leo comes in, that's up to you guys to interpret. If it's not a Leo, this could have been something that you hung on to in Leo season that you're letting go in Virgo season. So whatever you hung on to in Leo season, you're kind of conflicted about in Virgo season, but I do feel like you're walking away. And when you finally do walk away, someone's left with confusion. Someone has to make the decision here to walk away or hold on come September. Like, the choice is now yours. If someone walked away from you, Cancer, because we do have water here, some of you are being walked away from. Others of you are walking away from other people, but either way, either you or someone you're dealing with is conflicted, especially if you're dealing with a Virgo. They're very confused now. Like, what? And also, if this is not a Virgo, this is you being conflicted in Virgo season because you're left all alone now. Whether you were walked away from or you're walking away yourself, somebody, by the end of September, there's going to be some isolation that comes up here, right? This is solitude. This is being on your own. This is wisdom. This is soul searching. One thing about this Hermit in this Eight of Cups, this both talks about soul searching. So there's light here, right? We have the light of the lantern here in the Hermit card, and then we have the light of the moon. So this is about your inspiration of your soul, letting your soul be what leads you now, Cancer, even though you're conflicted. And, you know, we do have the full moon and the new moon. So that Pisces full moon might have contributed to somebody walking away emotionally. And then we have this very new moon here. This is the new moon. See how we have the crescent moon there? So I feel like either like the Pisces full moon and so from August 27th to September 9th, there's something going on there between that time where there's a significant decision. Now, give or take a few days, right? It could be a few days before the 27th. It could be a few days after the 9th. But this moon energy is influencing you this month, Cancer. Remember, the new moon is a time to set intention. So you really want to get clear about what you want to come forward so that this moon can be the Aries full moon at the end of the month. So we're dealing with, you know, things that completed on the Pisces full moon. That was when people walked away from certain things as well, especially emotion, because Pisces is a water sign. And then the new moon in Virgo, I feel like this is a new moon in Virgo message. Because we have the Virgo card, and then we have that crescent moon, which is the moon coming out of the phase of new. And we even have that here. We have the moon, if you take a very close look, it's a full moon, but there's that crescent there too. So I'm telling you, there's something here about the new moon and the full moon. So Pisces full moon, Virgo new moon, Aries full moon. So when the moon goes from full to new, certain things come to beginning, completions and endings and beginnings. So this Virgo new moon, after the second week of September, is really affecting the last half of your month. There's certain decisions revolved around this Virgo new moon. For some of you, it's going to be a Virgo energy. For some of you, it's just Virgo season. But we've got a clear message here about the Virgo new moon. And it has something to do with the Pisces full moon. It has something to do with the full moon that you walked into September with. You came into September, even if you guys didn't really physically walk away. I don't think you guys, some of you did. It's going to be different for all of you. But some of you walked away emotionally. But you stayed physically because you felt that there was still some strength in the situation. So now you're conflicted about the new moon in Virgo, because now it's time to set new plants and seeds. Right now we have the fall harvest where it's time to reap what we sow. So in that case, there is this confusion. Like, do I want to be alone is what I'm hearing. Like, I think someone's confused about whether they want to be single or taken, or if they're single, like, now what? You know, now that I've walked away from this, what am I? Like, so there's some wisdom here that you need to tap into, Cancer, because with the Two of Swords, this is a mental confliction. Virgo season can be pretty conflicted for you, I'm seeing this month, because there's a lot of emotion behind you, okay? I feel like Cancer is a little bit less emotional. I'm seeing a lot of messages about that, especially with you getting out of the water here. The Two of Swords woman has turned her back on this large lake of water, okay? So around the new moon, you could just be feeling kind of emotionally detached. We have this blindfold. This is air energy, so for some of you, it could have to do with the Gemini, Libra, Aquarius as well, who is isolating themselves, or maybe you're isolating yourself away from this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Maybe you're not really speaking, or you don't have clarity of a situation. This is like not having clarity, because there's two things involved. Like, this is two different thoughts, two different people, two different roads, paths, two different options, because this is a confliction. It's a decision that you have to make on this Virgo new moon on September 9th about whether you're going to walk. If you haven't walked away yet, if you're still confused about walking away and holding on, September 9th is kind of the deadline for that, because the Aries full moon energy is going to kind of come in after that. And at the end of the month, this Aries full moon, we all need to be in our authority. We all need to be we all need to step into our authority by the Aries full moon, because this is a full moon cycle where we need to know who we are, and we need to know, you know, where we stand. And we don't know where we stand if we're in the middle of leaving and coming and going and leaving. You know what I mean? This is too back and forth. So Cancer, there's something here that you need to see clearly for yourself. This blindfold needs to be lifted so that you can choose one of these swords, and so that you can just speak your truth. You don't need both of these swords. You just need one of them to speak your truth. Okay? But I understand the confliction here, and I understand the loneliness, and the fact that some of this has been all put on your shoulders. You know what I mean? This is all up to you. You feel like the ball's in your court in a negative way, and you just need you need some emotional assistance here. I know you're going through, this is an emotional confliction. Do I walk away emotionally? Do I stay? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of rocky waters back there. So if I were you, I would very much tap back into my emotion at this time with the new moon, because there's going to be certain darkness around the Virgo new moon that only our inner light can kind of guide us through. So there's a lot here about your own inner light, Cancer. You really want to trust your inner light of your soul. You are ruled by the moon. For some of you, it's an Aquarius, because we do have the star here. All right, so there could be some sort of Aquarian energy going on with you, Cancer. But I see that you're feeling kind of emotionally isolated. You're feeling kind of emotionally abandoned and left on your own. Somebody walked away from emotion. Now, if it's a Virgo, Virgos very much walk away emotionally. And this new moon is going to be the time for you to set intent. Now, Cancer, Virgo is your third house. So this is all about communication for you. And at the end of the month, we're going into Libra, okay? So I want you guys to really prepare for the second half of September, because all this energy is heading into your fourth house of you. You are the fourth house, Cancer, of our entire universe, but the fourth house for you is Libra. So we're heading into a square energy, okay? Squares, Libra squares you, and squares can be very conflicting, right? Squares can be very conflicting. And then this full moon in Aries also squares you. Okay, because Aries squares Cancer. So there could be some conflictions here with authority figures on that Aries. You're going to have a full moon squaring you. This full moon squares you, okay? So there could be certain conflicts emotionally going on. Aries is your 9th house. That's not right. Aries is your 12th, 11th, 10th house. Sorry. So there's going to be some stuff that comes up about your career too and your long-term legacy, because Gemini is your 12th house. Taurus is your 11th house. Aries is your 10th house. So this is all about your career. This is some serious energy. So the full moon in Aries is definitely about stepping into your authority when it comes to your long-term goals. And there's going to be certain pain that comes along with that. This is a painful ending that is attached to the end of September for you, Cancer. This is when you're going to need that strength. Okay, so the times that you spent on your own in September were to prepare you on a soul level for the things that are leaving and coming, right? September is a month, man. I'm telling you, when we step into October, there's going to be a moment of silence for us all, because there's just so much happening in September. There's so much planetary changes going on. You know, a lot of stuff going direct. Saturn went direct. We got Chiron is shifting. All these energies. Mars is going back into Aquarius. Just lots of stuff, guys. And I feel like, you know, there's gonna be some endings here. Now, this doesn't have to be a bad thing. The Ten of Swords looks like an ultimate defeat, right? It looks pretty painful, but there is the light at the end of the tunnel here that you're finally seeing, right? Like, you're finally seeing that light. I'm telling you, this is some dark energy here. This looks dark to me. The Virgo new moon is going to be very dark. I think Cancer, once a month, Cancer, and you'd be wise to know when the new moon is, because the new moon is a very dark time, metaphorically. You go outside on a new moon and there is no moonlight. Okay, the stars don't shine as bright. And that's the time of year, it's the time of month where people have to find their own way through the darkness, because the moon is hidden completely. So full moons is when the light is shown. Okay, so that Pisces full moon showed you a few things. It showed you the way, it showed you at a soul level where you're going. And then, you know, following that full moon, the light goes out. So it's interesting how the moon kind of shows us things subconsciously, right? That's why we have dreams here and authority. So this is about taking authority over your own soul and your own subconscious. And this is the new moon. It's interesting that she's blindfolded, because there's going to be certain things that you can't see as clearly. So it's going to be hard to decide which way to go towards the end of September because of the Virgo new moon, right? It was easy to see here which way to go, what to walk away from, what to hold on to. It was easy to see your strength too, especially the strength at a soul level. But during new moons, people kind of become emotionally blind to things. Our intuition, we have to work harder at our intuition when there's new moons. Things become a lot more conflicted in the darkness. So there's a blindfold here. There's something this is something that you can't see. But when you can't see this month, Cancer, when maybe your intuition, when Pisces and Cancer and Scorpio turn their back on their emotions, our intuition turns its back on us. But we have this hermit here who carries this lantern of light, right? This is a wise soul who knows the path of wisdom and enlightenment. So there's a light here being shown. So there could be a certain angelic influence that's here to help you on this journey. Like, hey, here's the way. This is like someone in a dark room who all of a sudden sees the light at the end of the tunnel. And for you, I think the light at the end of the tunnel is definitely the Aries full moon at the end of the month. Even though it's going to be certain, it's going to be mostly mental for you, Cancer, but there is going to be certain pain. Like the Ten of Swords, by no doubt, is definitely a painful situation. Maybe you're dealing with a painful situation that involves an Aries or a Virgo. It could be an ending to some sort of, maybe there's an Aries who's in pain. Okay, maybe there's a betrayal with an Aries or a Virgo or a Leo. Maybe this is self-inflicted pain. Maybe this is Chiron and Aries finally moving back into Pisces, which is, oh my God, I just really felt fear throughout my whole body because I looked up and there's a spider. And I just think everything happens for a reason. It's not a very big spider or anything like that, but it just creeped me out, and I just feel weird that like I don't know if you're intuitive Cancer and you just felt that fear, but it just scared me to see. So this could be something that really shocks you. At the end of the month, it might really scare you. It might send fear. I feel like I felt that for a reason. Like I felt it in my chest, and I'm just kind of watching this spider now. It's like a distraction. It's weird. It's weird, Cancer. But at the end of the month, I just feel like there's gonna be something that kind of, it might scare you. It might scare you. Okay. It might send fear. It might be, just don't be afraid. Okay. Don't be afraid at the end of the month of anything that comes out with this Aries full moon or anything like that. You need to have strength. Okay. You definitely need to have the strength to get through whatever this Aries full moon is bringing to you, okay? Whatever it's bringing to you, you really, really need to have the strength for it. You need to focus on that, on the courage it takes to get through the darkness. You know, this is you walking through a lot of darkness. I see you walking through the darkness, and you've let your soul, because the things that scare you, they're going to kind of settle down, just like this spider is. It was just moving pretty fast and scary, and now it's standing still, like almost like it's listening to me. So there's going to be certain things like that. I don't know if there's something spider related or whatever, but back to what I was saying, this is some darkness here. With the Two of Swords and the Virgo new moon, it's a dark time, okay? This is going to be some metaphorical darkness, and there's going to be decisions that you have to make on your own, Cancer. Only you can decide whether you're going to trust the light of your soul to leave things right now, emotionally. You know, there's a lot that you're turning your back on emotionally, and when a water sign does that, when a water sign leaves something emotionally, it's probably because there's a lot of waves being made by other people's emotions right now. Like, we're very sensitive people, very sensitive water signs, and there are decisions that sometimes we have to make on our own. You know, I know sometimes it's easier to be told what to do, just like this Aries person. This is an energy that is good at calling the shots, good at telling people what to do, but this is like you standing on your own authority when it comes to your pain. There's a very Chiron message here. So I want you guys to know that Chiron has been squaring you. Hello. No one has been talking about that, but Aries squares Cancer. Chiron is going to be leaving, retrograding back into Pisces at the end of the month. So I feel like the reason why the Ten of Swords is here is because, yes, there is pain when it comes to this full moon. I don't think the full moon is going to feature Chiron, which is interesting. I think Chiron is going to leave. Maybe it will. I'm not sure. I'll have to get back to you guys on that in my full moon and Aries video. You guys really want to watch my Aries full moon video, so you can keep a lookout for the message there for you guys. But there's some sort of pain that you need to take authority over. That's what this is, Cancer. Is taking authority, having the strength to step back into your authority when it comes to your pain, when it comes to, you know, any betrayals or anything that has backstabbed you, having the strength to see the light at the end of the tunnel here. There's a very light at the end of the tunnel energy in this reading. And for some reason, it has something to do with what you've been hanging on to, what you're letting go of, the back and forthness of leaving and coming, okay? But this is a Chiron and Aries message for me. I think this has a lot to do with Chiron moving back into your 11th, moving back into your 9th house instead of your 10th house. Pisces is your 9th house. So when Chiron moves back into Pisces, it's not going to be there forever, but it's going to shift some things, okay? When Aries, Chiron, this is so Aries and Chiron, I'm telling you. And that full moon, I hope Chiron is out of Aries by the time that full moon comes, so that we can have a full moon, a fresh full moon that isn't linked to some sort of wound. Because Chiron, if you guys don't know what Chiron is the wounded warrior in astrology. He acts as a planet, even though it's an asteroid. And wherever Chiron is in your chart, like some of you may have Chiron in Aries, I have Chiron in Virgo. But yeah, Chiron in Aries. And, you know, I just feel like Chiron squaring you is very conflicted. Like, there's a lot of pain and wounds. So there's some conflicted wounds. Like, how do I heal myself? How do I heal from this is what I'm hearing. How do I heal from this? Well, when Chiron goes back into Pisces, it becomes more of an emotional healing again. So all the things that you've emotionally drained, all the things that have emotionally abandoned you or you feel emotionally drained from, Pisces Chiron is going to be able to, like, water is a more healing element to me. I feel like Pisces Chiron is so different than Pisces and Aries. When Chiron is in Aries, it's like, oh, you better stand up and take authority of your pain. You know, you better overcome this. You better. It's all about your strength. You know, you better heal yourself. But when Chiron is in Pisces, the universe heals you. Water heals you. So you're gonna be learning more about Chiron in your ninth house. This is, you know, pain expanding in ways so that it can heal for you, Cancer. Trust me, it's better than Chiron and Aries for you. But just be careful, because Chiron will be coming back into Aries, and it will square you once again, and it'll actually move forward and not go back into Pisces. It's going to go back into Pisces until March, I think. But then it'll go back into Aries. So this is about you taking authority over your pain. I think you've been learning a lot from Chiron squaring you. Maybe there's a painful situation that involves Aries or a boss, or maybe a father figure, or the father of your children. Maybe you're a male watching and you are a father. But this is a very masculine, authoritative energy. There's a lot of pain wrapped up around some sort of authority. Okay, this is you needing to rise up, because this ten of swords is kind of how we end September, which is totally fine, because we end September with our pain ending with Cancer, right? Your pain is ending. There's something here, like, whatever, this is one situation, and whatever this one situation is, the good news is that it's over completely. And what you're going to step into is the Ace of Swords. The Ten of Swords comes before the Ace of Swords. And then we start over, and we have clarity, we have victory, we have success, we speak from our soul. But before we can kind of start over mentally, we have to go through this very harsh ending. We have to this is mental, right? That some of you, this is going to be very mental pain. A lot of thoughts that you're thinking about, stuff like that. Painful thoughts of betrayal and past wounds, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like you feel a little bit alone. I feel like you feel like you're on your own in September a lot. I see a lot here about you just being on your own. Lonely energy, very alone, isolated, solitude. Use those moments, use the feeling of feeling alone to be your own warrior, Cancer, to step up to your own pain. You know, to have authority over painful thoughts, painful situations, because there is a light here. You know, the dark is clearing up finally. So I know for sure that there's been a significant amount of darkness, all right, going on for Cancer. And I finally see the light here coming in the distance. So there's this light, there's a light in the distance. So let's interpret this a little bit differently. Just some last minute messages here. I do feel like you need to, there might be some sort of job situation or boss situation. Maybe some of you are hanging on to an Aries, or you're hanging on to authority, because now I'm reading the cards like this, okay? So, you know, I don't know if you walked away from, you know, a conflicted situation. I don't know if, I feel like these cards are validating these cards. So after somebody walks away in the situation at a soul level, like, this is some soul shit, you are going to be left on your own. And it's so that no one contributes to your mental mindset, because there's something that only you can do. Like, you are chosen this month, Cancer, to make decisions for yourself, emotional decisions, mental decisions. Like, you know, when we blind ourselves, only we can allow ourselves to see certain things again. So it's like the blind leading the blind, kind of. But I'm telling you, there's this light, there's this flicker of light that the Virgo new moon introduces. And it's even more so enlightening as the moon gets fuller and fuller in Aries. The Aries full moon is going to be a very, very, it's going to be a completion for you, okay? So I don't know. I feel like this is just you feeling a little bit, you have to decide something on your own. And it's something that you might not have, you can't make this emotional decision, Cancer. There's a message here that's saying, don't make the decision emotionally. You turned your back, you're walking away from emotion, you're getting out of the pool of emotion for a reason. Virgo season calls for logic, it calls for analytics. So there may be something here that you need to make a very mental, calculated, intellectual decision. Maybe you're blinding yourself to how you feel, because if a water sign always can, you know, if we always think about how we feel, we'll keep on going back to things that drain us. Sometimes we have to shut off our emotion and allow ourselves to see something for what it is. Okay, so I think that's what you're doing, and that's what this is. What's going on here? You're walking away from certain emotion to walk towards a more grounded, logical, and that's what you're hanging on to, is the details, not what you feel. So I don't know if you're hanging on to a job, a boss situation, like maybe you're a boss and you don't want to leave this job behind or something like that. Maybe you're hanging on to your authority at a job and you don't want to change jobs because you'll potentially not be in charge or something like that. I don't know. But you might be hanging on to an Aries. You might be hanging on to something that these full moons are trying to release you from. This new moon is like, hey, I can set the intent to make this decision for myself, and then by the time the Aries full moon comes around, I will have made that decision. So I think it's good that you're hanging on to your authority. I don't know if you're hanging on to an Aries or if you're hanging on to a father figure of your children or something like that. But this is the Emperor, right? Maybe you're hanging on to yourself, because Aries is the self. I don't know. It's going to be different for all of you. And then we have strength. This is the easiest one for me, is that you're definitely going to need strength in this situation here. You know, I don't know if there's a painful situation with an Aries or a Leo, if you want to take this literally. But strength is a very light card, and I feel like you're going to need to embody mental strength to enter October. Like, you may enter October feeling a little bit sad or betrayed or tired, but you're going to enter October nonetheless seeing the light. Leo is this light, like the sun. Leo is the sun, so I feel like the sun moving into Libra is really going to add light to you, Cancer, for some reason. Like, it may even be the moonlight. I don't know. But there's a light here in each of these photos, right? Like the light from the lantern of the hermit, the light from the moon, the light from the moon. And now we have Leo, which is a very bright card. And then we have like these yellows are sticking out to me. For some of you, there may be a Leo that comes to you and helps you with a situation. A Leo may brighten your day, right? There may be, and if it's not a Leo, it's someone who's very strong and someone who is your strength in your weakness. Like, you are my strength in my weakest times. Okay, and maybe there's an Aries who comes, and maybe it's the light of the Aries full moon. I don't know. Maybe this full moon strengthens you at the end of the month. But we have strength in the Ten of Swords as an energy that goes together. Okay, so focus on your strength. Focus on courage, the courage to get up, the courage to hang on to the strength you have. This, you know, remember the strength it took to walk away from a situation, Cancer. Whenever you're feeling in doubt, whenever you're feeling confused, like, oh, should I have done this? Am I ready for this? Do I really want to do this? Yeah, you do, because you're gonna get strengthened, and you're gonna grow from this. Okay, so hang on to that strength, especially towards the end of the month, when, you know, we have this Aries full moon, whether this is Chiron, you know, the strength to heal your own wounds, the strength to take the swords out of your back, the mental strength. You know, there's things going on here. Little interesting of a reading, Cancer. Very deep, very, very deep energy. And we have the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck to tell me that all this is happening pretty fast in September. If you walk away, it's happening fast. If something ends, any endings or beginnings are happening pretty fast. There's decisions that you feel that you need to make very quickly. And this is clarity coming in. The Knight of Swords is a significant Gemini energy. That's a mutable air energy. So there could be a lot of different conversations this month. I think somebody or you or some energy is charging forward to this reading. There's something coming quick in I almost said December. Geez, in September for you, Cancer. And it's a sword. It's a sword of truth, right? You need a sword. And you don't want to be this Two of Swords who's stuck, right? Because you are breaking free out of a like, you've got some sword cards going on. And we have the Eight of Swords here. So, you know, I feel like now we have two blindfolded women. So the reason why you're hard at making a decision is because you don't see a way out, right? These are two cards that talk about someone who is not. Now, this might be a good thing, but we see the Eight of Swords. This woman is not grounding herself in her emotion. And in the Two of Swords, we have this woman who has turned her back on her emotion. Both of these women are blindfolded. Both of these women are trying to not see something emotionally. Going back to this card, how you're getting out of the water. So it's up to you, Cancer. If a Cancer is ignoring their emotion, I trust them, because you guys are smart. You're very emotionally intellectual. So I feel like, you know, it's going to take some time to get used to this intellectual, logical energy. But just keep in mind that you're not stuck, okay, Cancer? You are not trapped, you're not stuck. And that's why this Knight of Swords is coming to this Eight of Swords, because you just need to think about something in a different way. There is a second opportunity here that's going to present itself to you. It could be financial, it could be with an earth sign, but there's going to be some sort of second opportunity or an awakening that happens in a very physical way. It could be a message that comes in that awakens you. You might have thought that this was dead and over with, but it comes back. And this overall message is that there's a knight coming to save you, and you're like trapped in a tower. You know, even though you're not really trapped, you feel trapped, Cancer, and that's fine. You're in a mental prison. There could be someone who actually is imprisoned in the situation, and they may be getting freed. But we have this Eight of Swords energy. This Knight of Swords is coming to cut this toilet. This is toilet paper. Do you realize that, Cancer? That you're allowing something as thin as toilet paper to keep you bound and trapped. Now that's a metaphor. But I don't know about you, but I could really break through and I can see through toilet paper too. So whatever this situation is, you know you're not really trapped, and you know that you actually can see what you really want to do. The Two of Swords knows what she wants. She just doesn't want to deal with the consequences yet. So she's like, oh, I know the right way to go, but I just don't want the journey yet. It's too intense. But the bottom of the deck is very fast. So there's some fast forward movement. I think there's some people coming back from the past, maybe even, or just things, jobs, even stuff coming back from the past very quickly, charging in. This is clarity, charging in, Cancer. Clarity that you've been needing all throughout September, okay? Could be a significant Gemini too. But the fact that that's the bottom of the deck, it tells me that this confusion, these clouds, there's some clarity coming in for you very quickly, very fast. And that's all the Eight of Swords needs. The Eight of Swords woman, all she needs is a clear way out. And there's somebody or some kind of energy that's going to show you the way out this month. And I feel like it's that light. I feel like it's the light that the moon is going to show you on the 9th and on the 24th. And it's the light that you're going to see in the moments where there's so much pain going on, so much betrayal and all these endings and stuff. But at the same time, you're welcoming that pain because you're celebrating no longer walking away and holding on. Like it's finally over. September, there's something that ends forever. And when that ends, there may be things that charge in its place, Cancer. So I believe that is all I have for you guys. Your video is getting a little bit long here, so hopefully you enjoyed the reading. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I think this is a very powerful reading. If anything, Cancer, focus on your strength. Focus on your soul. Focus on the light that you have, the clarity, the enlightenment, the awareness that you do have. And this is about learning something new. So maybe there's some new information coming in. Maybe there's something new you need to learn about the energies that are on the table. Okay. So hopefully you liked the reading, Cancer. Let me know what you thought. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. And I will speak to you guys on this Virgo new moon, which I suggest that all of you guys, all the Cancers, come to that new moon, because the Aries full moon is showing up significantly for you at the end of the month. So you might want to, look out for my Virgo new moon and my Aries full moon. The Virgo new moon is important for you guys, and the Aries full moon. I will have a video coming out for both of those, okay? So, alright, Cancer, I'm sending you my best energy. I will talk to you guys in my new moon video soon. If I don't see you there, I'll talk to you in October. Bye.